And good afternoon. This is Steve Ferreira, lapel pin guy, and you're watching a breaking news session for OK Boomer Live. I'll tell you what, I have been in this business a long time, and never fails to amaze me the strength of how big data um, influences not only what we do but our actions and shows a lot of trends. My friend Lorianne LaRocco at CNBC wrote a book. Containers don't lie. The shape of trade, how trade affects everything, and it's true. I think that one of the things that I wanted to talk about today in breaking development on Alibaba is that I've seen a remarkable bit of public researched information that I did today. And so the story is as follows. Let me try to reframe this a little bit. So, remarkable developments, obviously, as an offshoot of the 301 tariffs, where it was bound to happen, where we start to see a lot of small valued cargo coming in parcel and consolidated in containers and then remailed when the goods arrive in the USA. So it was inevitable that we would see that. As a matter of fact, Pete Mento had kind of laid the groundwork that small parcel could be a way to avoid the 301s. Well, we have found it. We have found the commencement of a large scale move on that. But before we kind of get into that, the news on Alibaba is that Alibaba is part of this process where, I believe, a competitive threat to Amazon logistics, people are ordering off of Alibaba. It's 27, 35-day delivery times. The goods are getting shipped from China by ocean to the U.S. and then, remailed at a designated location through a 3PL, 4PL type company. Right, we're starting to see that movement, and I think that's a real threat to Amazon logistics, where Amazon is fulfilling the small Chinese goods at origin and bringing them into the warehouse, and then obviously the consumer can buy them. So this is a new dimension that I'm breaking today, where the goods are coming in from China to the West Coast port, and then being remailed to the purchaser or the buyer. So, but what's more important about the developments that I found today is that through the process of getting this arranged rather hastily, Alibaba had, and the vendor, the shipping company, has somehow mistakenly released all the purchaser data into the into the ethersphere, if that's the right word. So the problem is that, one of kind of data privacy is that I've seen it with my own eyes, basically thousands of purchases of Alibaba products with their name and locations, devised, exposed here in the U.S. So that certainly is an issue that these kind of remailing services have to address. And it just so happens that Alibaba was, a part of this, this movement where all the goods are coming from Alibaba on a NVOCC, but the buyer name, like Steve Ferreira and my personal address, are now being exposed onto the internet. And a good example of that, and again, let me first of all just tell you a little bit about the phenomena of avoiding the tariffs, the 301s. So this particular company had, I don't know if they're a new company. I've never heard of the scat code of this particular ocean NVO/remailing type service. But I mean, they went from 0 to 90 in basically 1 second. So they flatlined with no volume January, February, March. And then all of a sudden, April and May, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this number. April and May, over 350,000 1 and 2 pound type shipments, right? Just phenomenal. What's happened in terms of these shipments. And so in there, are the Alibaba shipments, and again, anyone with a website that says, "Hey, buy a custom suit from China," or buy a handbag. So you got a lot of basically it's Amazon logistics redo part two, right? Except this is very creative, and the shipments are very small and under $800. It would have obviously that's the case. But again, what's concerning is that the owners' names, the people that ordered the goods, all their names are exposed as well as what they ordered. So that's a huge problem. And so I think that I was going to show you a graphic of just the profiles of what I'm talking about, but I think I've covered it well in the address here today to the nation and to the world. Is I have never seen the explosiveness of one company, this particular NVO, handling so many small packages, over 350,000. Now, in terms of scope of containers, that's about 3,000 to 4,000 containers in 1 month. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. And so I think those numbers are, first time I think this story's ever been broken. And certainly with the Data Protection Acts and privacy, I realize this is a new venture. So, I'm going to give a little bit of leeway to mistakes happen before, they get their act straightened away. But it's just a fascinating study on what's happening in the Trans-Pacific now. So if you want more details on that, please contact me on LinkedIn below, or private message me at steve.ferreira@oceanaudit.com. So again, signing off for now. This is Steve Ferreira of Ocean Audit. You've been watching a special report on OK Boomer Live TV regarding Alibaba, other Chinese vendors that are moving their cargo to the US in small packages, ocean freight to the West Coast, and then mailing services to the end user. Explosive growth, and the revelation of the end user customers are starting to appear on a wide scale basis. So I believe that is something that we need to look at as in the retail environment. And I can't understate the threat that I feel this is to Amazon logistics and Amazon itself, because this is a pretty slick mousetrap to have moved over 350,000 small shipments in about 1 month. Phenomenal scale. So the plan of attack on this and the setup of this business was done in some ways flawlessly. And again, with Alibaba being a little bit behind working with this particular ocean vendor, NVO, it shows the meticulous nature of Alibaba. So few loose ends, but nonetheless, I think very significant breaking news. So signing off for now, I'm Steve Ferreira, CEO of Ocean Audit, host of OK Boomer Live. Hope you enjoyed the show.